Coach Ryan here with Project Fresh. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys had a safe and wonderful July 4th weekend. We are now into the full depths and throes of summer next couple of months. Hot temperatures, right now, some really hot weather, wild weather. And so, with that being said, it's still a great time and a great season to pursue your goals in fitness. However, I have to say today that progress isn't always linear. So if you find your progress is stalling out, having challenges, having trouble, stay tuned. This one's for you. So my name is Ryan Sanders. I am a coach, lead coach, and owner of Project Fresh. And for over the last 13 years, I've helped people take control of their health, optimize their performance, and build sustainable habits that stick. As a certified strength and conditioning specialist and a certified sports and nutrition coach, I've worked with everyone from athletes to busy professionals, coaching them through the science and the real world challenges of fitness and nutrition. So here I share the stories, the lessons, and the systems that make long-term wellness possible. So with that being the case, today's focus is progress, and we always want to be progressing. One of the things that we often encounter when we start something new is we want to see something progressed, right? You want to show up to the music class and you want to hit the C major scale, right? You want to be able to hit, I think it was 7, 8 notes up and then back down. And you want to be able to do that in like 2 weeks, right? I played trumpet in middle school, a year in high school. You sound like a dying geese for some time, and then you actually figure out the aperture right in your mouth. You figure out how to get the right vibration and the right airflow, and then oh my gosh, I got to go from C minor to C major, and now I got to skip up another scale, and all those challenges. Excuse me. And we want to see progress, and we want to see it tomorrow, right? Or we want to see it today, or we want to see it yesterday. Yet we know through life, it's just not the reality, right? If you went through elementary and then middle school or junior high, and then high school, right? That took a long period of your life to get just through high school. And then if you went to university, my little brother's a postdoc. So 4 years of undergrad, master's, doctors, postdoctorate, still professor, still going through his work. He's 2 years younger than me. So he's been in school like his whole life, like 30 years, almost 30 years. To me, that's crazy. I've been out of university for, well over 10 years. We'll put it that way. So, there are certain things that take quite a lot of time. Maybe you ducked out of school at 18 and went right into trade school, hit 2 years for flight school or rigs of some kind or whatever it was. And then you jumped in at 20, 21, 22, started working, started earning. Actually, honestly, if my wife and I had kids, we would tell them trade school is a great option. There's never not going to be a need for plumbers, good electricians, good, some of those other subcontractor trades. But then you got the cool stuff like airplanes and other mechanics that are always going to need to be serviced. And those jobs you get paid pretty well doing those kind of things. But the point is that progress is never linear, and that's okay. And if you want to see yourself there, the goal here is to stick with it. So there's three kinds of progress. It's linear one, just steady as she goes, right? Gradually climbing up the hill. You're on a 10-mile hike with a 5,000-foot incline, right? And you're not going to jump from 0 to 5,000 and from 0 to 10 miles in one jump, right? Nobody can do that. It's not possible unless you're a fictional character. And so that takes gradual progress. And oftentimes we want to find the hike that is a gradual climb versus, some people want that steep climb, right? You want to get all those 5,000 feet out of the way, vertical climb, so that you can enjoy, the last 5 miles of, very steady climb, or even just flat while you're up on a mountain ridge or something, right? We want to have the beautiful views without the effort after the hard incline. But ultimately, you've got that nice gradual process, right? And then we've got exponential. exponential progress. And I was looking at, I forget what I was looking at, but this applies to money. If you've got a house that's $400,000 and it's a 3% interest, right? Most people are like, we may never see 3% interest again. But let's just say $400,000, 3% interest, standard loan of 30 years. You're going to see how much interest that you're going to pay over the course of those 30 years, if you're familiar with the amortized interest. Now, if you double that 6%, or excuse me, that 3% to 6%, you would expect the interest to be the same, right? Well, that's actually not the case. That's not how amortized interest works. It actually is going to be about 2.25, depending on the numbers. I was looking at 400,000 when I did the math. It's about 2.25. So it actually is an extra 25% on top of double that you would pay in interest. So let's say you put your money into an account, you're expecting interest back. If that interest doubles, you're not going to get, double the interest back. You're going to get actually above double. And so we call that exponential progress, right? Where we're seeing, steady and then all of a sudden a quick upswing. That happens from time to time. We do see progress like that where we've been working and working and working and working and slow burn, and all of a sudden you can do something. All of a sudden you can go from a planche tuck to all of a sudden you're able to come into that full planche position, right? All those hours, all that work, all that time, a year spent, all of a sudden you've got the core stability, the posterior chain rigidity. You've got everything you need to nail that planche, right? If you don't know what a planche is, it's a push-up with your feet floating off the ground and your shoulders above your hands. Pretty wild move. I haven't gotten there. I've got some time to go and about 25 pounds to lose to have the body to be able to get there. But that being said, you could have those slow burn to quick exponential progressions. And then the last one is reverse, right? Where it's like it feels like you're going backwards. We've heard the saying, take one step forward, take 3 steps back. You've maybe seen the chart where you're going, then all of a sudden you're going backwards and squiggling, and then up and then down, and then zigzag and more circles, and all of a sudden you're a little bit forward from where you were, and then back again, and then all of a sudden you're at the end point, and it's just this crazy map of like all over the place. The distance from A to B is not a straight line. It's not an exponential. It's just all over the 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and you're like, what the heck happened? I got there, but man, it was crazy. So that's progress sometimes as well. And probably the most common progress between the exponential slow burn, the exponential linear to the all over the place, when is this madness going to end? I would say there's probably close to about the same. But ultimately, what I'm trying to drive today is that you're going to have progress one way or another. The exponential is the least likely, which we all want. However, the goal here is that if you continue your efforts, if you keep going, if you keep putting in the effort, keep adjusting, keep giving it your best every single day, you're going to notice the progress. And you can also move forward with some challenges present today. I wanted to see what I could do for my back squat. My squats have been feeling pretty good, not too bad as far as the progression that I want to get back to. My right hip is driving me crazy, my hip flexor specifically, trying to throw kicks in this martial art that I'm now a part of. But I was able to sit down into a full ATG, so we call it astrograph, or full deep squat position below parallel with 305 and come back up and feel good. My legs feel fine. I don't feel like it really worked out, to be honest. I'll see if I have any soreness, but I can feel my hip flexor. So 2 things can be happening at the same time. We can have some tightness, we can have some pulls, some strains. I tested everything just to make sure I felt I was okay. I didn't start at 300. I started at like 135 and I built my way up, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Over 300, body feels good. Let's, keep this progression going. So that's a possibility too. We can be hitting milestones, or we can be progressing while also having challenges. Again, your progress and the harder you push and the more you're looking to do, the more challenges you're going to face. I've had clients ask me this all the time. Why can I have progress? Can I get to my goals without all this pain? No. If you want to go to be an engineer, a doctor, or a lawyer, and get a job, that means chances are you're going to want to go to a prestigious university or college, right? If you want to get those top lawyer, top doctor, top engineer roles, right? So what's it going to cost to go to university? State's probably going to be what, 30 grand, 40 grand. Private's going to be 60, 70, 80. I think some of the universities are getting closer to 100K a year. There's a price tag. There's a pain threshold that you have to be willing to push through to get yourself into those environments, and then survive those 4, 6, 8 years plus, for my doctor friends out there who are going the distance, 8, 10, and more and more and more, right? Especially if you specialize. And that's a pain threshold to look ahead 10 years and go, my life is going to be school and bills and all these other things just to be a doctor, or my life is going to be 4 years plus law school, JD, all those different things, bar exam. My life is going to be an engineer, undergraduate, master's, and whatever else you might need, depending on which way you go. In the engineering world, I was civil. I did it in 4 and was done. I didn't need more to do the work that I got into, thankfully, but ultimately there's a cost, right, associated. And so if you want the results, you got to pay the cost. Hopefully the lower the cost, the better. But I think I would argue that sometimes we do need those higher price points because it really, I think, affords a better experience on the back end. You appreciate it more. You understand where you had to come from to get where you were going. And I'll end on this. Michael Phelps, I saw something about him the other day where he was talking about his training when he was peak, before he started just crushing it in the Olympics and getting all the medals. And I think he literally went, training wise, like 2 years straight. It was either 2 or 4 years straight where he didn't miss a workout, literally training 7 days a week, on his birthdays, on holidays, on weekends. He was training every single day. He was training multiple hours a day. Like, we're talking over 4 hours a day. I remember some of the articles back in the day of what they would say he would eat: 7, 8,000, 9,000 calories, whatever it was he's putting down, to maintain and sustain that amount of training. That was a huge price tag. Think about all the birthdays he missed, both family and his, Christmases, all the different things. Well, maybe he, had those, but he was sitting down for like 30 minutes to an hour opening presents with family, and then he was out in the pool. He was back in the gym lifting weights. He was doing all the things to help him get to an eventual point where he is now not only the best swimmer to have ever swam, he's also the most decorated Olympian to have ever competed in the Olympics, by far. So there's a cost to what level you want to experience, and each and every one of us ultimately decide what our experience is on the back end. Not everybody's going to be Michael Phelps, obviously, but if you want to have a particular experience, you have to pay that price, and that is up to you. So progress can come to anyone as long as you give it your best. That being said, this is Ryan Sanders with Project Fresh. We're going to keep on moving our way into summertime here. And if you guys have any particular topics you'd like to cover with us, we'll gladly go ahead and plug that in into our list of topics. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great one. We'll see you next week, same time, same place, noon, for our Monday lunch live here with us at Project